She tried to rewrite my child's life behind my back. My son Leo is 5. His mother died in a snowy highway crash when he was 8 months old, and ever since then it's been just the two of us in our small apartment on the west side of Brookdale. My sister Clarissa lives about 15 minutes away. She started helping out 2 years ago, picking him up from daycare, keeping him overnight when my emergency shifts at the hospital ran late. I'm an ER nurse, and her help felt like oxygen. At first it was twice a week, then more. Then she started buying him clothes without asking, stocking his dresser at her house, repainting a spare bedroom into what she called Leo's second home. She taught him to call her Mama C. I thought it was innocent family affection until it wasn't. Last winter I caught a brutal stomach virus, and she kept him for 5 full days while I recovered. When I went to pick him up, Leo cried into my jacket and said he wanted to stay with Mama C, and she just smiled. Something in my chest cracked. A month later, she invited me over for coffee. Her husband, Eric, was already sitting at the kitchen table with a yellow folder placed perfectly in front of him. That should have been my first warning. "We need to talk about Leo's future," she said, fingers laced like she was delivering a diagnosis. "What about it?" "You're drowning, Sam. Working doubles, no partner, no support system." She nudged the folder toward me. "We think it's time to formalize things." Inside was a 12-page document titled Co-Parenting Agreement. Clarissa was listed as primary caregiver A. I was caregiver B, like an optional add-on. There were weekly schedules, holiday rotations, a clause stating I needed her approval for medical decisions, another granting her authority over Leo's education. Page 10 said her home would be his primary residence. Page 12 had 2 signature lines. Her signature already sat there in neat blue ink. "Sign it by the 12th, she said, "or we'll file in family court." My heart slammed against my ribs. "You can't be serious." "Leo needs stability," she said coolly. "A mother, a real home. You can't give him that." I stood so fast my chair scraped. "You're his aunt." She looked me dead in the eye. "I'm more of a mother than you'll ever be a father." I walked out. That night my phone exploded. First Mom. Clarissa told us everything. Maybe she's right. Then Dad. "Don't be stubborn. She loves that boy." Then my cousin Jenna. "Just sign it. She's been wanting kids for years. You know what the IVF did to her." And suddenly everything clicked. This wasn't love. This wasn't concern. This was desperation wearing family as a disguise. She wanted my son to fill a void she never asked permission to drag him into. The next morning I called a family attorney named Thomas Vega. I emailed him the document and put him on speaker. He skimmed it and let out a long breath. "This is legally meaningless," he said. "She has zero standing. But the fact she sent this to others and implied legal action, that could count as harassment. And you need to document everything." 3 days later, it exploded. Leo's daycare called around noon. "Your sister is here. She says she has a custody agreement and she's authorized to take Leo early." My blood iced over. "Do not release him. I'm coming." When I arrived, Clarissa was in the lobby practically waving that worthless document like it was the Constitution. "This is legally binding," she barked at the director. "I have rights." I walked straight past her and knelt in front of Leo. "Hey buddy, Dad's here." He wrapped his arms around me like he thought I might disappear. I stood and faced her. "Leave," I said. "You're making a mistake," she hissed. "A judge will see who the better parent is. Then file," I whispered. "Let a judge tell you what I already know." She never filed, but the family pressure doubled. Mom stopped calling. Dad said I was breaking Clarissa's heart. Eric left a voicemail blaming me for her mental decline. 2 weeks later, he texted that she'd started therapy and admitted she went too far. "She just wants to see Leo," he added. I didn't answer. Yesterday, Clarissa herself texted, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. Can we start over?" I stared at it for an hour, then typed, "Supervised visits only. Public places. You will never pick him up from daycare again. You will never be alone with him. And you will never call yourself his mother." No response. Last night, Leo asked why Aunt Clarissa doesn't come over anymore. I told him, sometimes people forget where the line is, and when they cross it, you have to build a wall. He nodded like he understood, even if he didn't. Maybe one day she'll earn supervised visits back. Maybe one day I won't feel the need to watch her hands every second she's near my kid. But today, the only parent Leo has is me.